All right, we had to take a quick break there for a second. But yeah, I had PTSD, and then I had a pistol, and I got busted with the pistol. And eventually, after we did the house, when we cleaned it up for the 2 months, April and May, that was like a month after my boy shot himself. And they ended up pressing charges anyways, and I had to do 6 months in county.
Yep.
You know, they were telling me that they understood the circumstances and situation, you know, and I was on parole on that time, and I finished my parole in county jail. I got very lucky, and I should probably be in prison right now. And I was planning on going to prison at some point. And then
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
We never. My husband and I didn't press charges
for
the fire, which is what Jody was on parole for arson charge. But we didn't press charges because we didn't file a claim with our insurance company and took on the burden of doing all the repair and everything ourselves because Jody was facing 25 years for arson, and we didn't want to press any charges. And even in our victim impact statement, we put that we didn't want to press charges, and that there was a drug problem and a mental health problem, not an arsonist problem. So
there really was. I was obsessed with fire. I made a lot of Molotov cocktails in my day.
Yeah.
You know.
But it still goes back to a mental health
issue
problem.
Yeah. I know that too.
You know,
being obsessed with that fire.
Yeah, I mean that's all a mental health problem because normal people don't.
And I haven't started any fires whatsoever since that happened. At least.
No, you haven't wanted to touch fire.
Yeah.
But so you went into county, and things would have went a lot faster if I wasn't fighting, and because I was fighting for you not to go to prison, I was fighting for you to get the actual help that you needed.
And I did get out, didn't I? And I still screwed it up.
You screwed it up. You got out after 5 months.
Months was 2 weeks in the halfway house.
In the halfway house, and you got mad.
And I got mad, and I burned an X in my head and decided prison was better. And then I went and spent 8 months in prison.
Yep.
When I could have been free in 2 weeks after that. Yep. So I did. My brain just wasn't recovered still. No. I became like perma-twacked. Yep. I think I was like the first one ever in Clinton to actually be perma-twacked before anybody else ever was. I mean, because I went to the mental institution. I was out for like 2 months, but I was still doing all the things that I would do if I was twacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. And another thing is, I thought when I had split personality disorder, was it obvious to you with Maddox Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had he would talk and then I would talk. Like, did I ever break that? I know I had to, because like after the third day, when I get high,
oh yeah,
I had shit kick in like instantly. Yeah. Madness.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Well, and there was no way to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
At all. It didn't matter. And that continues. I mean, because your brain takes a long time for your brain to heal from the damage of meth. It takes a long time with properly taking the right medications bipolar disorder. So that whole bipolar and schizophrenic mania goes together, and that's where you feel like you have that alternate personality because it's another side of you. Your brain just doesn't function right when it's not treated properly with medication. It's not your fault. But,
right.
So like even when you first got here, it was still
pretty fucked up.
It was still pretty messed up
because
for a while.
Of PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD, and
I feel like I'm over it now, though. I mean, physically and mentally, I'm over it. It's just that my brain isn't quite there. Because I have to take a lot of meds to sleep.
Right.
But I sleep.
Yeah.
There's a time when I never slept. And and it didn't have anything to be on dope. I mean, there'd be times where I was on dope, and that was why I was awake. But I would just be awake even if I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Even the Clinton Police Department was like, "You need help," or they were telling me keep my head up when they saw me at traps and shit.
Yeah.
Like fucking, they knew I was fucked up in the head because I'd be the only one walking Clinton in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that you were not well.
Yeah.
I mean,
for a long time before that.
For a long time,
even.
yeah.
Before
yeah.
that, even.
For a long time.
They know I've been mentally, fucked up.
You know, and people get thrown in prison.
Yeah.
And that's not the answer. But, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. But, you know, it's really lonely for an addict. And nobody can understand what they're going through unless they go through it themselves. And I think it's really a lonely place to be in your head with mental health issues. And no one can understand that unless they're in your shoes, you know. And you combine both.
Right.
And it's
dual diagnostics.
Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Right. I even got approved to get out of county after 2 months to go to this place in Rockford, Illinois, and I got kicked out because I got angry and I yelled, you know, and it was stupid. It really was. It was like they wanted to
12
make me
days
snap.
later. 12 days later. And in my opinion, they got paid from Medicaid after those 12. Yeah. By those 12, you had to complete so much time. To get paid. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but
nah, man. Half the nurses were out to get me, and the other half were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody in the system, whether it's the legal system or the medical system or treatment system or whatever, not everybody is just, you know, punching their time card. There are a lot of people who really care, and like the girls that would come see you in county. I can't remember her name.
I don't remember their names either.
She cared.
Yeah.
And she tried.
And Clinton, Iowa, the way it is, its resources are totally fucking horrible. There are none, basically. There's no, like, that's what I said. The resources and opportunities here are outstanding, and I really wanted to jump on it. So I went to county for 6 months, or I got kicked out after those 12 days, went back to county for another 4 or 5 months. My lawyer ended up getting me just probation, which is a fucking miracle, for having a pistol while on probation, for arson. Yeah. And fucking, the pistol wasn't loaded, but it was a malfunctioning pistol. I didn't know that when I took it. I was just scared for my life, and I felt like I needed a gun when I saw that shit.
And called me.
And I called you, yeah.
First thing in the morning after you couldn't reach your brother.
Yeah. And then, excuse me, Max. I'm sorry, dog. But
I didn't turn you in.
No.
But I told them everything.
They found me.
They called me.
Yeah, and I think they found me through my Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
They traced the cell phone.
Yeah, something like that.
I gave them the cell phone.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, but I told you when you called me that morning.
I didn't know what, man. I was scared. And I think I called you because I was where I was at hiding. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I spent 6 hours replaying it, holding a gun. I'm like, don't tell me I took the gun that was in his fucking hand. Right. I was scared. That's how I was.
Yeah. I
was like, I got a gun. Oh, fuck, he blew his brains out. Oh, man, I have a gun. Oh, man, did he use this gun to blow his fucking brains out? Like, I was fucked.
Well, and you were high, too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
for
definitely
however
high.
Long.
Actually, that was the day, but he gave me some dope right away, you know, straight up. And it was sad, and I wish he was here, you know, but
you're here.
But I'm here, and I'm living for him. You know, that's how it is.
Yeah.
And then I went to county after I got kicked out of there for like 4 or 5 months. And as soon as I got out, I had nowhere to go. Like, I wasn't welcome to stay at my brother's because of my addiction and stuff. So I went straight back to the street, went to the most popular trap house, find out what the news was on the street, and then went to trap houses. I was staying in an abandoned building in the basement of Schmitty's for a while. And then...
When I came
And then she
in
came
December.
and
So you
still
had
took
surgery.
care of me
Yeah.
with my Aunt Bobby
6 weeks. We
Yeah.
stayed 6 weeks in Clinton,
and Clinton.
and I got you, picked you up, and we got a hotel room because I had to get you dry for a couple of days.
And I was in that
before I took
hotel,
you
and I was trying
Aunt
to shoot
Bobby's.
up a shot too, but my veins were too dehydrated. And I gave you a full loaded syringe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's nothing like having to help. I mean, let's be real. There's nothing like having to help your 32-year-old, 33-year-old, 33-year-old son out of a bathtub because you were in so much pain and freezing because you didn't realize that you had been in the bathroom for 2 hours. And I was outside the door the whole time, not knowing what you were doing, but not coming in, just asking you and like every 15 minutes if you were okay. But that's, that was really hard. That was really hard.
And then we got me into the Meadows, and I met the wrong people, and I felt the need to use, and I really didn't want to use. And I don't really remember how long I was in the Meadows for, but the anniversary a year ago to this day is March 27th, 2 years ago in 2020 is when my boy Army Bill killed himself. Yep. This is the second anniversary that happened. And I was pretty and I just got fed up with life. And I told my mom all about it. Like, I'm going to kill people. I'm going to kill myself. And that was a ritual that I would say to her every day over the phone, in person. I was like, what are you going to do when I kill people and the news interviews you? Same thing with my baby brother.
It was like
it was like I was wanting to be a serial killer. And
so we were at Aunt Bobby's for 6 weeks because you had surgery.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
And then we also, and because it took 6 weeks for me to find you a place to live.
Somebody to approve me with my record.
Yeah, to approve you with your record and a whole lot of talk from me.
Right.
To get you into a place. And you were in there for 1 month. And I came and visited.
Yeah. And
you were completely lost into meth.
But I don't think I did it while you were there, though. But as soon as you left, I went right to it.
No, remember we made apple pie and stuff.
Yeah, we made apple pie. Liquor.
And I shared the bedroom with you that night.
Yeah, I know.
And I left the next day.
I thought it was a week.
I don't know.
I thought you stayed with me for a week. It was like 5 days.
Get the apartment set up and stuff.
Yeah, it was like 5 days.
Yeah, and then I left.
You didn't even leave the parking lot. I see you in your car, and I'm still going to my boys. I'm like, yo, it's time. Yeah. You know, my mom's gone.
Oh, yeah, because you told everybody they had to stay away while
you were there.
Because I was visiting.
Because you were visiting it. And I knew that eventually when you go home, I'd be getting high anyways.
Yep, so that was like February.
Yeah.
And by March, I was telling everybody that would listen and telling my husband and, that this is it. He's going to die.
Yeah.
He's going to die. He's going to die.
Pretty sure, and a lot of people say that too. They know,
or go to jail or
prison for life.
Yeah, prison for life. I was saying that.
I was thinking about
prison, the cops
life
were
in
prison.
End
up killing you.
Yeah.
And or OD or something, but
But you called me up like the day before, like on March 26th.
Yep.
And you told me to hang in there. And as soon as I got your phone call, and I felt great. I was like, thank God I could finally leave this place, man. And
your brother helped you leave.
Yeah.
Get the bus ticket and.
Yep. And then.
Rode a bus here.
And then I was sober too, one day. I think it was only a day sober before I came.
A day sober.
A day sobriety. And then, because you called my one friend, because my phone lines. Sean. I don't even want to say names, but
nobody knows.
Yeah, and then he had me call you, and you had all this stuff like you told me to come here. There's a treatment center that would take care of me. The resources and opportunities here were greater than the ones in Clinton, and I think her husband Joe gave her like a 6-week cut.
You
like
could stay with
I could
us
stay with him for 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I was like, I can't go back. And then we went to some meetings, and we found out that there's sober living houses that would take me in. And I
got turned down.
And I got turned down by quite a few.
Because of
arson and shit.
Yeah. Until
Tom
where you're at now.
I can say Tom Hightower. I'm not trying to say the addicts.
Right.
Well, I'm not trying to throw him under the bridge or whatever.
So he was the very last person. It was like 6 weeks to a day.
Yeah.
When you moved in.
Moved out.
Yeah, when you
moved in, Tom's.
When you moved in to the sober house.
So I'm like 11 months pretty much into the sober living house, and I like it there. It's great, and it also happens to be 2 or 3 blocks from my NA group.
Yep, that meets every day.
That meets every day, but Thursdays. Yep.
Right, because they have house meetings on Thursdays.
And it took me a couple months, to get comfortable. But you were impressed that I was sleeping when I came here too, because when I came here, I had no anxiety. I told my mother, I feel like I'm in a safe. No gangsters, no criminals, know where you are or live. I'm safe here. I'm not gonna die. Fucking, it was just relief because I was so close to giving up on that. I lost this journal of mine too during that period, and I call it the Unholy Bible. It has like hundreds of my lyrics. And I lost it to people that were addicts, and for some reason they stole it from me. It wasn't even worth any money of value, but my mom got a friend on the grapevine, said that she was going to give him a $50 reward to get that book back. And I'm glad she did, man, because that was my life all on paper. And that's when I was like, if I don't have that book, all my life was... I was so close, just obsessed.
Always so close.
Always so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My stomach would turn every time my phone rang.
Yeah.
My stomach would turn if my phone didn't ring. I was buying you phones
left and right. I was breaking them or losing them.
Getting rid of them on purpose, whatever, smashing them. And everybody and their brother told me that I had to stop. I
told her to.
I know.
I did.
I just had to let you go.
Yeah. You and Jamie prayed that I would die peacefully in my sleep.
Yeah. That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
And I planned your funeral, and I have an insurance policy that I pay for every month, and for you and your brother, that your grandmother had started when you were little boys, but I buried my dad, and while I was there and had helped my dad make his funeral arrangements, I scheduled an appointment for myself, and then I made your funeral arrangements.
Yeah. And I didn't really want to live past 31. I was demented, pretty bad, I don't know what to say. My spirituality was actually, it was kind of like devil worshiping. I think I became a devil worshiper when I went to prison. I think that's really when it hit me, because I was always trying to be about God at some point, and then I think I just gave up when I went to prison. But right now, man, I'm doing pretty spiritually awesomely fine.
The devil didn't give you any of this.
No, straight up, no. Fucking, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, man, I lost track. But this is all great stuff that we're getting here.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all right. But yeah.
Been here a year.
Been here a year.
The resources are here. They're not in Clinton.
Or in Iowa. Or in the state of Iowa.
Or in Iowa.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there were so many treatment centers that wouldn't take
me. And then there's only one mental health hospital there, like in Independence.
And there was a 6
month waiting
list.
And
if I had to put you on that list, I mean, considering we got nowhere in those 6 months,
Right.
you know, but here, before I even came and got you, or I mean, before I even sent you the bus ticket, that's what I had done in March. I had already started working on
Yep.
getting you in someplace.
And which was awesome. That and I went to Community Alliance. It helps out quite a bit. I probably had really bad insomnia problems for like the first 2-3 months. Yeah, you know. And then I think maybe with 6 months after being sober, I started sleeping pretty well. So I'm grateful for that, because when you have insomnia, and like true legit insomnia, to where you only get like I would pass out, and I think I'd be totally exhausted, but it was like 2 hours of sleep. I had to beg you to get me beer so I could get drunk and try to sleep even more longer than usual, and I was taking sleeping meds on top of that, you know.
Before you
Like,
came here.
Yeah. Well, when we were in Clinton cleaning that house up, I asked you to go get me beer.
Yeah.
So I could.
So you could sleep.
So I could sleep instead of keeping you up all night.
Yeah.
My brother and his girlfriend at the time, they all knew that I just couldn't sleep, you know. And then it's sad when your life is like that. I pretended to sleep, and it's just hard.
It is.
It is. I'm glad to be over that now. I mean, I take 800 milligrams of Seroquel, Depakote, and that's the main mental health medicine I take.
Yep,
for mental health.
Yep. And you've taken that medication
every single day.
Every single day.
Yep.
For a year.
Every single day for a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Because it took a little while to get the meds.
Right. But yeah, and when I said I'll wait on, I'll give my mother a shot and give this a shot, I'm so glad I did. She never gave up on me. I didn't think this was ever going to happen. I didn't think I was capable of it. I told everyone I was going to die with a fucking needle in my arm. Stop fucking hoping. I'm not a testimony. I told my brother that shit. I'm like, I'm an addict. This is who I am. And deal with it. And that's how it's going to be. But now I'm fucking sober. And I'm happy with my life. I'm not empty. I'm not hollow. And I'm not depressed. Have more possessions than I did for a long time. My clothes collection's off the hook. You know, I'm getting everything back slowly. I'm lucky that I don't have a disease.
Yep.
Yeah, straight up. I've used hundreds of dirty needles after people who do have diseases. You know, it's sad, man. But I'm trying to tell everybody this because, like, there's hope. There's fucking hope.
You hated hearing it.
Yeah.
You did. At one time, you hated to hear it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't... But there's hope. And I love this person of me. I can look at myself in the mirror. I would break my mirrors because I didn't want to look at myself. You know? I mean, I was just like, my house would be destroyed. There'd be a stack of dishes, cocoa on the floor. Fucking everything be chaos. I even had chicks that would get spun out and pick up my house. As soon as it got cleaned up, I'd trash it again. You know, just didn't care.
And anybody else's house that you were in.
Yeah.
I mean, you trash your brother's.
Yeah.
Like a tornado would go
right.
through it, you know. But how is it now? At your apartment?
I'm absolutely clean.
You're clean.
I clean every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. I clean up my room and I clean up our house, dude. There's one other dude that helps me with that, but I do all the chores mostly upstairs. Yep, I do everything.
So you are probably like the cleanest now than you've ever been. Because who cleaned your house for how many years?
You. And you got paid for it.
And I got paid for it.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome that I got paid for it, but it's not awesome that I cleaned your house for years. Because you didn't.
Yeah.
You know. But you would help.
Yeah.
Unless I cleaned his house. I got paid for it by the state. Before the drug addiction, you helped and kept your house fairly clean. I was more like I helped you do the things that were difficult. And
I'm not putting it on anybody why I'm an addict. I became an addict because of me. I'm the one who put a needle in my arm. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did that to me. and I can say this and that, and it's that person's fault. It's really all my fault, man. But now I can't. And what's really great is that I'm this person's now, and I have everybody's forgiveness, which is fucking amazing. Or I'm working towards it too, because I don't deserve it. I don't deserve any of it. I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be me and my brother actually in a great relationship. This is the cleanest I've ever been since I was 16 years old. I'm finally growing up like an adult. And I can't wait for next year's year of sobriety. Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. I feel like this is the new me, or this is me, this is who I am, and deal with it.
And I don't think it's the new you. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
because
is.
It's not the old you.
No.
Even before drug addiction. I mean, you're older, you're wiser, and you just said it yourself. You're an adult.
Yeah. And I told you, like, you tell me to do this and that. And I'm like, I have it all under control. You're like, you do.
Know. I have to unlearn so many things.
Yeah.
I do. And I know it's frustrating, but I
don't really talk to myself as much as I did.
No.
It happens.
It happens.
But I was narrating my life like a madman.
All
the time.
All the time.
All the time. Just saying what was in my head. I couldn't control my thoughts. It was craziness. I also have Shredder's forgiveness, which is amazing. That brother stuck with me this whole time. And that makes me think about my grandpa, Shredder's grandpa. He told me that he always had hope. That he never gave up on the idea that I would get clean. And Shredder's family is my family too. It's my extended family. I'm so glad to have grandma and grandpa, Shredder's grandma and grandparents. I feel like I can actually finally be a part of that family.